Hi guys, and welcome to my 5th book review. Today I'll be reviewing Billionaire Boy by David Walliams. Joe Spud is one of the richest boys in the entire world. He's only 12, but he has enough money to last him a lifetime and probably about 8 more. But it wasn't always like this. Just a few years ago, the Spuds were very, very poor because Joe's father worked in a toilet paper rolling factory, which, as you can guess, didn't pay very well. But then Joe's father invented a new kind of toilet paper called Bum Fresh, where it's wet on one side and dry on the other. Bum Fresh made them extremely rich, so rich to the point that they could buy anything they wanted, even a Formula One race car. But even though Joe had all these really cool things, he was still missing one very important thing: friends. He had no friends. So Joe's dad lets him go to the local public school, where he meets his very first friend, Bob. Bob is very, very, very overweight and is bullied by all the other kids. But this didn't stop Joe from being friends with him. Now was the start of Joe's normal life, I guess you could say, which involved gross school lunches, getting bullied by a pair of ugly twins, and unfortunately, very strict teachers. In the end, Joe and his father lose all of their money due to the fact that Bum Fresh made everybody's butts purple, but this is when they were at their happiest point. This book teaches some important life lessons, but I think the most important one was that money can't buy happiness. Throughout the story, Joe's father attempts to please his son with his riches, but Joe wants real happiness, which is something you can't buy, no matter how much you have. When Joe first meets Bob, he tries to secure his friendship with him by giving him massive amounts of money, but this unfortunately results in Bob turning on him. But at the end of the story, when Joe and his father lost all their money, Joe finally reunites with Bob, and his father marries Bob's mother, and this is when they finally feel true happiness. Joe and Bob also have to deal with bullying from a pair of twins, as I mentioned before, and Walliams shows how they deal with this, and that anyone else who is being bullied isn't alone. Of course, he shows us this while adding in his usual humor, which makes it way better. I've never read a book where the main character is a kid but is so insanely rich, and I thought this was kind of unique. Make sure to check out my website with the link down in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!